Well, the whole front is finished. From driveway to driveway. It's completely done. I don't have to do anything else out front. Even the little meter thing you got installed. Well, this week has a lot of little details, and I hope you enjoy. And if you stick around to the end, I'll have a full before and after to show you. Good morning, it's Monday. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I went for a little hike with the family this weekend, and it was beautiful. A great little spot not far from the house. But for Frankie, this week, I want to stay outside as much as possible to continue on with the exterior, but the weather doesn't look great, although it looks pretty good right now. And according to the NOAA app, it looks like I might have all morning to stay outside. So, where do I want to begin? This wall right behind me. So we're gonna start with the trim work on the corner, and then the frost board and that window. So I've already set up my laser, and I have the distance going across the bottom to make sure my first course of siding is perfectly level. And then from there, well, we'll build that corner bead and we'll check that for plumb. And if we can keep that guy nice and plumb, that means going up the siding, my angles on the ends don't have to be all over the place. So that's where we're gonna start. Let's get going. All right, 136 1/4. Well, that plan just got completely fizzled. I'm out of trim. So I have to go to the lumber yard and get trim. No, that stain's pretty dark, so.
No, that's just out of the lane.
Oh, does it? That'd be fine.
That'd be the back side.
There. Now you're gonna get on YouTube. Did you hear that radio interview I had?
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Shortly after that, a friend of mine tried calling me, and I just kept ignoring his call. It's what, you too famous now? You're on NPR, APR, SCPR, YouTube. Yes, man, I'm too famous for you now. Yeah, the downside of not having boards prepped, I now have to prep them. Alright, drop cloth, some drying racks, roller, bucket, stain, sawhorses. Check, 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 check. Alright. That noise in the background. Yeah. Ugh. Someone doing some leaf blowing. You know, I lived in a residential area once, and that's just what everybody does. And since living out in the middle of nowhere, and my time becoming incredibly valuable, I stopped leaf blowing. And raking, for that matter. Even though I find it very therapeutic. Yeah, I guess I should show this, right? So this board here has a bunch of it's called waning on it, so where the bark was. It would not be great for a corner bead or for a window pack. I mean, it might be able to pull it off for a window pack, but I do need the frost boards to go across the top, and that would be perfect for that. So I went ahead and grabbed it. You know, it's important not to be super picky at a lumber yard. Yeah, because you don't want to be that guy, right? Anyway, or I don't want to be that guy. I don't know what you are. Anyway, right, leaf blowing. Then my wife, who is very in tune with nature and our surrounding ecologies and all that stuff, I don't know much about that at all. She's been educating me every step of the way. But what she has taught me is that a lot of our native pollinators will burrow in the leaves, and that's how they spend their winter. And then in the spring, you know, sometime in May, they pop out of there. So by leaf blowing, you're killing a lot of butterflies and moths and things of that nature that help, you know, everything survive. So now I use it as a great reason to not take care of my lawn. And we do participate in no mow May to allow all those critters to come out of the leaves and whatnot. And the first time you mow, most of the leaves are, you know, half decomposed. So you mulch them up in your lawn, and your lawn gets way healthier, way faster. That's my soapbox for today. Oh yeah, Lee. You gave me some dry boards, bud. Good stuff. Yeah, that fell at the lumber yard. The one who owns it is Ollie, and then his right hand is named Lee. You've seen him in other videos where he's helped, you know, deliver material like the timber frame. And yeah, he and I become friends. It's nice to have people at places, you know? They look out for you. Another reason not to be that guy when it comes to going to the lumber yard is that if you treat them with respect, and they will treat you with respect. Pretty simple stuff, really. But if you're the one who, you know, culls all the lumber and rejects a bunch of stuff, even though you really could use it, then you become that guy. The winds are really starting to blow out there, and it's getting dark, and the clouds are getting super dark. So there's a couple little things I want to get done before the rain hits, which includes taping that window over by the kitchen, and I want to get that big pick down. So I probably won't film all that, because if it starts raining, the camera's on like this backup battery thing, and I don't want to risk that. So I'll get that knocked out. Then it'll be lunchtime, and then after lunch, I'll decide what's going to happen next. Well, that storm definitely blew in and forced me inside. That's fine. I was able to get all the trim boards pre-stained and ready to be assembled for the exterior. And I made the window pack for the kitchen window. So that happened. And was that it? I feel like there was more. I mean, I took down the pick and all that stuff, but we already talked about that. I don't know. But that's gonna be a wrap for today. I'm cold and a little hungry, honestly. So before I get hangry, I'm gonna head home, and I'll see y'all in the morning. Or you'll see me in the morning? I don't know. What? You understand. I'm going home. I've had enough. Good morning. The weather is holding out for me, so I should be able to do siding all day. The only problem is that the siding I'm going to be putting up is going to be really long. It could be 16-foot sections. And although I could probably do it a few times on my own and be pretty darn accurate with it, it'll wear me right out. So what I need to do is either find another human body to help hold the other end. Yep, that's not going to happen. So I have these nifty tools that I've used for engineered siding. and like LP Smart Side, Hardy board, that sort of stuff. And it's really clever. This little lip here, after you hang your first piece, you slide this up underneath the bottom edge of it, and then you clamp it down with this little lever action here, and then it sets the height for your next board to go in. And it's super clever. And I was thinking, well, I wonder if I can modify this to work with this siding. Now I've done it with, what was that, 1x6 siding, and it worked pretty well. Only problem was is it left a pretty good dinger on the face of it when you clamped it down. So what I want to do is see if I can figure out either just putting spacers behind this plate to make this gap here deeper, and then I can adjust this arm here to set my 7 inches. I've even thought about, making a whole nother tool, but I think I can modify this one. A little ingenuity goes a long way. I grabbed some washers and things to kind of play around and see what we can come up with. It's really going to depend on how long these screws are. Engineered siding is about 3/8 of an inch on its base, this edge here, and those are pretty long. And this siding is about 3/4 of an inch. What's going on there? Oh, so it's just a nut and bolt scenario. So if I just get longer nuts and bolts, where'd that one come from? Oh, that was underneath the rubber bit. Very interesting. So I need another 3/8 of an inch. Basically, I need a 3/8 inch spacer. These bolts and washer or nuts, I don't think they're gonna give me that. All right, I'll be back. To give a more up close and personal look on how my little tool apparatus ended up working out. Again, you have this gap here for the siding to slide into. So that goes in there like that. Now, because this is rough cut, locally milled lumber and natural, the thickness on the bottom of the siding has been varying. Luckily, I modified it to meet the largest size, and then I can just vary it with a tapered shim by sliding the shim in at different thicknesses. Then you just hold it there. You apply the cam action of the lever, and now you've got a nice edge to set the next row on. And that goes on there just like so. I'll set the 7 inch on this side. Yep, we're still a little gappy over here. There it is. And then, verify your gaps if you have any. Uncam it. Slide it in. Get a feel for where you want the shim. Cam it back over. And boom. Get to do it all over again. And again, and again, and again. Good afternoon, it's Wednesday, and this morning I ran around. I went and visited a job site that has a really awesome view that if we get, I think you're all gonna enjoy that one. And went and finished up a job at another customer's place. That was my fault. It's just dragging my feet on this, or been too busy with this, drag my feet on that. Yeah, that's a better way. And so that's taken care of. And then I met with a customer, well, not really a customer, but a fellow reached out to me that wanted to have me assess his barn and see if it was worth saving. It was leaning pretty hard one way. And yeah, so I went over, talked him over the plan and how to fix it and all that. Told him that I'm way too busy to do it. But I was glad to, you know, be a resource to him. And yeah, so would you guys be interested in seeing when I do consults like that? You know, I do everything from, you know, what should we do on our project list to like that leaning barn, and everything in between. I'm too busy to take on all these jobs, and I'm only one guy. So yeah, if you're interested, let me know, and maybe I'll take you on the next one. Right, so Frankie, obviously last night I did a pretty good push, and that wall is finished. We are all set there. And I mean, second coat of stain, everything. It is done. I can check that one right off the list. And today, we're over here. Again, we'll probably do a time lapse because it's too windy out here. But day's half gone, so let's get to work. Okay, I have a bit of a dilemma. Normally, what I like to do when a wall is out of plumb, I like to correct that in the trim. Which means I set up my laser, so you can see that there, and I verify what the wall is doing, inward and outward, at the top or bottom, however you want to think of it. On this corner, I've already done it with the trim. I don't know if you can see it. It's more narrow at the top than it is at the bottom. But on this one, I'm not going to be able to do it because it goes from right there in the crux of the corner next to this face piece here all the way to the outside of this trim piece at the top. So what that means is there'd be no trim at all showing on the bottom of this, and there'd be a full-size board at the top. And that would look super funky. And you would definitely see it. Yeah. So what's gonna happen is every single piece of siding that goes into this section here is gonna have a beveled cut. Not beveled, mitered cut. So, yeah, this little section is gonna take a lot longer. I really gonna have to hope I'm on my A game. That's the deal there. It's Thursday. It's a little chilly, and it may even snow today. But that's not gonna stop me. I'm gonna continue on outside. I feel warm enough, and if it gets, you know, really drippy and nasty, then yeah, I'll come inside. But I think I'm gonna grin and bear this one today. So I really want to see that siding done on the front of this building. Gonna continue on with that small section that has a little angle on it, and well, we gotta install that window. So that might happen today. So up behind me, you can kind of see where their window's gonna be. Now, it's not gonna exactly be where you think it is. That repair to the siding or the sheathing happened a long time ago, and I had to relocate the window that's gonna be in this general location. And the original framing was for a double hung window, and so that's all been corrected and changed, and I shifted the window over. So just pay attention, you'll see what's gonna happen. So now the challenge is to get a window into this hole by myself. And if you've noticed, I can walk in and out of this hole pretty easily. So the window's about the same size as I am. Yeah, this may take a minute. Well, that window went in super smooth. It's perfectly plumb, perfectly level, no diagonal issues. So I'm gonna go ahead and nail this thing off after I verify the gaps are even on either side of the window so that we can get spray foam in there, and it makes nailing it off a whole lot easier. That's the only downside to really doing windows by myself, is there's no one inside to tell me what's going on. But other than that, I mean, it couldn't have gone any easier. I'm so happy, especially the window as heavy as it is. All right, let's nail this thing off. So before it gets too dark out here, I want to take a moment to talk about the little details that I've been working on. So here we can see the last course of siding, and then there's no siding. So I did this because the ground is right here, or the concrete is right here. And I know from experience of owning this house that the snow will build up in this corner, and it sits here a lot longer because this is a north face. And so I continued that around. Until that little block there. Now this little block is going to do a bunch of different things for me. One, I have two different layers of flashing here, and there was a seam right here, and I didn't like seeing it. Now there's nothing wrong with the seam. I have a good overlap, about 20 inches, so there's plenty of coverage for the building. I just didn't like seeing it. So I was able to cover that up with this block, and we're gonna lower the siding over in this section because over there it gets really quite deep. And then this metal flashing kind of looks like a skirt. I don't like that look. And we have this little box here. Now we have a great little mounting spot for the folks that drive around checking for the water meters. And this is the transmitter for it. So now we have a nice little standoff for that. So I'd call that block a win on top of a win on top of a win. All right, well, I don't know what time it is. It's gotta be rounding 6 o'clock or so. I'm getting pretty tired. So normally I'm getting real close to reading my daughter her evening stories. But tonight the girls are out doing their thing. So I just stayed late at Frankie and spend more time with you folks. Okay, see you tomorrow. just noticed there's a little detail I need to finish. There's always something. Oh, yeah, I just got a little trimming to do on this flashing detail up here. And then the front will be finished. Of course, you want to count the landscaping. We're not going to count that, right? Yeah. That's a different problem for a different day. Try to get some downtime this weekend. I'll try. I promise nothing. All right. Thank you all for stopping by High Peaks Home. And yeah, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. I think this is a big deal. Finishing the front of the building. I can't wait to drive up here Monday morning. Yeah, I'm excited. All right, go home. Or you go home. Somebody go home.